Welcome everybody back to the A4Q Testing Summit 2026. And now I welcome here on stage Sammy Kolluru. Hi, welcome. Great that you are here now.
Thank you.
Sammy is Managing Director of Imbus Canada, a professional in software testing with over 20 years of experience. And his topic today is testing AI-based systems, considerations, quality, risk, and ethical assurance. But before we start, just one note, please use this QR code, this one here, for awarding the best speaker and best presentation for the A4Q Testing Summit 2026. And also please use the chat if you have any questions to Sammy, then we can deal with that at the end of the session. And now, Sammy, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Yeah, today's topic, it's going to be AI and how to test the AI systems. Basically, I'm not going to walk you through the how and why we need to test them, and the more of what is that we need to consider when we look at AI-based systems. So the topic today is testing AI-based systems, considering the maturity for the quality, the risk, as well as the ethical. And Richie, you already introduced me, and I've been in testing for about 20 years now, and AI has been a new trend on top of my experience. So I'm going to use some of my experience and bring in AI and see how AI can benefit testing. So the increasing use of artificial intelligence in software testing, it creates a new challenges, especially for software testing, other than, for those who have been testing using the traditional methods. Traditional methods, they do not really address all the challenges that AI brings. AI rely heavily on data that can change or that needs to be adapted over time. So because of this issues, they are like a issue with the bad data or even biased data. Sometimes it could be changes in the model behavior. There could be inconsistent performance, and also there could be some concerns about like a fairness and transparency, right? Because AI is not managed by a human. It has its own the data that can provide different types of outputs. So we are using a maturity framework. Typically, I'm going to talk about TMMI to begin with. So in this presentation, I will describe how an organization can gradually improve their testing to address the AI risks. So here, I'll also include some validating some training data, tracking model performances over time, as well as managing ethical risks. Without going into much detail, I'm going to walk you through what are some of the things we have to keep in mind when we are considering AI. There are some of the agenda items that is on the screen. We'll talk about the role of AI, the imperative for AI in testing, AI augmented testing, applications of AI, and also I'll quickly introduce what are some of the advancement made in AI-driven testing, autonomous and intelligent testing, and finally I will talk about the maturity. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the role of artificial intelligence. As we know, the software testing, it is changing because today's software systems are more complex and they are released at very faster pace than before. Modern applications, they're large, they're more connected, and are often updated very frequently using DevOps and continuous integration, continuous delivery practices, all the agile practices that we know of. At the same time, many software products now include artificial intelligence, which introduces new risks and also uncertainties. Because of these changes, traditional testing methods alone are not enough. So hence, artificial intelligence is becoming an important tool to help maintain software quality, improve efficiency, and also to manage risks in the modern software testing world. So, talking about the imperative for AI, especially in testing, the rise of AI in software testing is happening now because of a perfect storm that of the new technology, and also there's increasing demand, especially from the functional aspects. So we finally have some tool to make it work, right, which can accommodate very high demanding features. At the same time, they can build it consistently at a very faster pace, thanks to agile for promoting the frequent updates to the functional aspects. The old way of testing software, it just cannot keep up with all the new emerging trends, especially with the AI. So why is AI possible now then? Number one, I would say, is the today we have a better hardware, right? Computers are much faster, especially the powerful graphics chips that can handle much more complex problems than that used to be before. And the second would be availability of data now. There's so much data, the massive amount of data and the information that are available to train AI-based systems. And the third, very important, is the open access. Right, the developers have all the information that is required. Developers have all the tools that they have access to. Most often, they are free. They have high quality AI tools and also the framework. Similar to TMMI, there could be many framework, but TMMI is one of them I'm going to talk about here, that can help them achieve their functional goals. So why is it necessary then? Number one, as I said, it's a complexity. Software is getting much bigger, much more complex on a day-to-day basis. So in order to achieve the complexity, AI is essential. The second is the speed. Agile do promote frequent release, frequent updates, or a frequent release for the production. But businesses want to release new features even more faster than what Agile could do. So the maintenance becomes an issue. The traditional automated test is way too expensive, and also it is becoming way too difficult to manage. For those who have been working on agile projects, we do know how difficult it is to maintain an automated test. So hence we need a AI that can accommodate the maintenance as well as the speed. So they are building so many AI-driven applications now that we actually need AI to test them properly. So let's talk about AI augmented testing then. In AI augmented testing is not just about adding new tools to testing, right? It represents a major change in how software quality is managed. Industry analysts note that organizations are consistently under pressure to develop software much faster. At the same time, they have to maintain a high quality in terms of functional and also in terms of performance. To meet this challenge, many companies are starting to use some of the AI-powered testing tools that can help them analyze information, that could prioritize what needs to be tested first. And also, AI tools can be used to help them support making better decisions. It is expected that AI assisted testing will soon become very normal part of software development tools. And we're already seeing this trend now. AI has been supporting developers as well as decision makers as well. Right? So it is also important to understand that AI tool does not replace software testers per se. That has been the ongoing questions. Instead, it helps them automated tasks that require analyzing large amount of data. And also AI tools can be used to find some patterns, some weird patterns that is happening, so that we can make a better decisions how to go on with the testing. Here we do need traditional testing techniques that we have learned from our agile methodology. At the same time, we also need to find the patterns so that we can prioritize what needs to be done first. So this will allow testers to spend more time on important activities, let's say evaluating risks, planning test strategies, and also it gives time for testers to apply critical thinking. Let's talk about some of the applications of AI in software testing. AI helps software testers in mainly three ways, right? One is, as I mentioned, finding weird behaviors. And the number two would be to organize bug reports so that we can predict where the problems arise. At the same time, how to prioritize them, right? So the three main ways would be the weird behaviors, organizing the reports, as well as the prediction, right? Instead of humans hunting through thousands of lines of data, thousands of lines of test scripts, AI can act like a high powered filter that points out exactly what needs attention. So, how AI improves testing in that case? Let's talk about spotting weird behaviors. AI looks at system logs and test results to find some anomalies, that is, the things that don't look right. This helps testers to ignore the noise and to find real bug much faster, right? And talking about the organizing bug reports, uh, AI are very, very useful in this case. AI can read through a bug report. It can automatically group similar bugs together. And also, it can help flag most important ones, which is a huge help for a team, especially team that are global team that works on much complex problems. It really helps them put all the informations together so that the team, that is global team, can make a very informed decisions how to manage those risks in the product, as well as predicting future problems. AI uses predictive analysis to guess which part of the software are most likely to break. So it tells the team exactly which test to run first so that they don't waste time on things that really are working fine, right? Which has been a big challenge for especially for testers. So AI can make some of those decisions for us so that we are focusing more on high risk areas rather than focusing on areas that has been working well, or even at low risk, which we can be managed later on. Let's talk about a couple of advancements in AI then. AI is changing how we build and run automated tests. In the past, automated tests were they were very brittle, meaning they would break at the moment a button, a small button is moved from one location to another location, or even the font size, font color has been changed. The automation script would break, and then the tester would have to go back to the script and make those changes. So now AI can make this test much smarter and much harder to break. How AI can fix automation in this case? Number one, AI can be used as a better eyes, right? Instead of looking for specific code, AI can use visual recognition to find that button that's missing or being moved, or even the menus, right? It can look at those buttons or the menus just like a humans would do. This means that if the underlying code changes slightly, the test wouldn't fail because the AI can figure out that the button has been moved from one location to another location, or just the font color the text has been changed, right? And the one I'm really very excited about is the auto writing scripts, right? So the generative AI, like coding assistant, they can now write test scripts for you, suggest ways to make your test better, and also it could help clean some old code or even some old test scripts. So this is ongoing trend which will tremendously help software testers manage test scripts, provided that AI can automate and also clean up some of those old existing scripts, which can make it more efficient for testers and developers alike. Now, the catch here is we still need humans to maintain it, right? AI is not just one magic tool. The AI is fast, but it's not going to be perfect. So if you let the AI run without any supervision, you might end up with a very messy and very incorrect test. So it is important that we use auto writing scripts. At the same time, we need a human who can ensure that AI is doing what it should be doing fairly and with transparency. Right? That means we need to have some expert oversight. That means you still need to have experienced tester to double check what is AI doing, right? Or even if it's doing correctly, right? Keep in mind, AI, the output results could change depending on the data or depending on the input. Or because the machine is consistently learning, every time it gets new information, the output could change. So that we need somebody who's experienced to ensure that the AI is doing scripts, are running the script exactly the way it needs to be run, right? So what does this mean? This allows us as a tester, humans, into strategic thinking, right? Humans are the one who decides what needs to be tested and why it needs to be tested, right? So ensuring that AI stays on track and especially with the company goals when it comes to quality agenda, right? Talking about autonomous and intelligent testing capabilities, AI isn't just one specific task, right? It can be plugged into entire testing lifecycle. It helps from very first day, that is writing a test plan, to all the way to the last day, that is monitoring the application once it goes into production. So how AI covers the whole process? Number one would be planning stage, right? During planning, it can read the requirements, it can suggest what needs to be tested, right? And also it can help prioritize what is the most important test to run so that a test team will not waste time looking at the low priority tests. And the third is the security, right? It can act like a digital guard, spotting security holes and also any weird glitches that could happen much earlier than human might find, right? Finding a security loopholes are very hard for a human, even with the tools that are available. So AI could be a very tremendously important tool to find those weird glitches very early in the life cycle. And the very important is the feedback, continuous feedback, right? AI can create a loop where the system is consistently learning from its own mistake, and also it can get better over time, right? So that is autonomous, which is very, very crucial, especially for a team that is working on the agile methodology. We understand that continuous feedback is very important, especially with the DevOps. So AI can address those challenges. So I will quickly walk you through testing AI-based systems. Right? There is a big confusion around: are we testing AI-based systems or are we really using AI for testing? Right? There is a big difference using AI to help you test, and also AI testing an AI-based systems. Right? There's a huge difference. Testing an actual AI, let's say like a chatbot, it is much harder because AI doesn't always give you the same answer twice. As I said, the AI is learning consistently with the number of data, number of inputs, and then each of those output can be different. Every time it provides a different output for a similar kind of input, it can make it very tough to know which one is correct, right? So why AI testing is different? Number one is the hidden biases, right? If the data used to train the AI is biased, the AI will make unfair decision. That has been an ongoing challenge even today, right? And that could lead into drift. That is, AI can get dumber or it can change its own behavior over time as it sees new data, and also it will start generating new outputs, which would not be consistent with what is expected from the application, right? So we have to keep in mind for the drift in the AI. And to say in simple terms, there is no right answer, right? For example, let's say in a software, if we say 2 plus 2, we expect it to give us 4 every single time, right? But in AI, this isn't always a clear picture. There is nothing called pass or fail results to check against. right? Even though it could be 2 plus 2, AI will look at other data, such as environment, such as what type of applications, and then the output could change depending on that. So there is no clear cut whether the test is passing or failing. It would so you have to be very careful when you want to bring in AI and start testing AI based systems, right? And the other challenges that has been ongoing, and then some of the big corporations has been addressing, is the ethics, right? You have to test for things like, the fairness, the transparency, not just for speed and also not just for bugs, right? There are a few things that we have to keep in mind when we look at AI based systems. Let's talk about some maturity considerations, right? Let's say our company is keeping up with the new emerging trends, especially with the AI. Is company following their own framework, or the company following their own approach to test AI-based systems, or even to use AI for their own testing, right? It is possible if there is no standard model that could lead companies to look into different areas to approach the AI-based systems, or even there could be no standard way to approach them. Right? That could become a major issue. So the industry standards, like the TMMI, which stands for Test Maturity Model Integrations, there are many other models, but especially TMMI, they have been updated to handle these types of challenges. Right? To do this right, companies can't just wing it. They need a disciplined process that looks at, number one, could be a data quality. That is, the information that is going into AI, is it clean? Is it fair for the AI to generate a report, right? Or the output. And the second is the risk management. What happens if the AI makes any weird or unethical decision? How do we manage them, right? And also constant watching, especially with the AI-based systems. You have to monitor the AI performance every single day, not just before launch or not just after launch, right? Because every single day, the as I said earlier too, depending on the data, depending on the circumstance, the output could change, the feedback might change. So we have to consistently watching for those any anomalies in terms of response from the AI-based systems. So the companies are using some types of model, and TMMI has been very, very useful looking into those type of some kind of standard framework so that they can introduce AI into their own products. So in conclusion, AI is not a quick fix, right? It is not a quick fix for improving quality. It works best when it is supported by skilled professionals. They use clear rules which TMMI can be used, and also is strong industry standards such as ISTQB, which has some of the certifications around AI, Gen AI, and also, as I mentioned, TMMI, they are updating their model to address some of the AI challenges. AI should be seen as an helpful partner that supports testers, not replace them, right? As a software system becomes more complex, more intelligent, using AI in testing is becoming an important strategic steps for organizations. So I will show you very quickly what TMMI might be doing to manage the AI trends when it comes to the maturity process, right? So on the screen, you see a TMMI model. I'm not going to walk you through the entire levels, maturity levels. Let's look at level 2, right, which is a level managing the test process. In a traditional methods, until now, TMMI has been very good at managing the test process, especially keeping up with the ISTQB standards, right? Such as test policy, test strategy, test planning, test monitoring, control, design, and test executions, as well as environments, right? So how does TMMI address AI when it comes to managing a test, right? So the TMMI has been working TMMI, the executive groups and also working committee has been working around implementing AI into the TMMI model so that it can be standardized throughout the industries. So I'm going to very quickly walk you through, especially the level 2, what are some of the changes that have been made or that will be made in upcoming model. Looking at test policy and strategy, now we are looking from an AI point of view. So they're focusing some of the process areas. They're trying to focus more on explicit focus on ethics, bias, data and regulations, because it's going to be organizations' decisions. So the ethics and bias plays a very, very big role. Also, they want to do a distinction between offline and online testing, because remember, the AI testing is going to be ongoing. Whether you're monitoring or not, AI would be providing the output. So it has to be consistently monitored, not only during off time and also during the online testing as well. And also for the policy and strategy, there should be a specific test performance indicator, so that you can look back and see whether the AI is providing the type of result that organizations are expecting, right? So these can fall under the policy and strategy. When you're looking at the planning the entire test life cycle, the TMMI is looking at more specialized testing, especially around the risks for AI components. Also, offline phase with the data preparation, data filtration, online phase with like testing on non-AI components, right? Because we have to test for the actual application itself, and how do they interact with the AI-based systems, right? And also more test efforts, estimations, especially using the AI-specific data. When it comes to monitoring and control, the TMMI is going to address the monitoring model based on the data, based on the drift, continuous monitoring model performance over time, and also the performance metrics, right? Another process area that they've been working on is the design and execution. The one is the focus on data preparation, and also test cases. Remember, we talked about how AI can assist the testers in terms of prioritizing tests or identifying tests which are more important, right? Test cases that can be trained, that can be validated, and that can be self-tuned. So the AI and the TMMI would be introducing AI into test execution, where the test becomes self-managed. And finally, environment. Right, as we know, the AI is becoming complex. So one area that the TMMI is going to address is the complex self-learning, autonomy, multi-agency, and big data. Okay, so these are some of the addresses that the TMMI is looking at. Going back to the TMMI model, there are 5 different levels. The one we talked about is the level 2, which is a managing test process. In the future, we will be looking at introducing AI into the organizations, managing or defining the entire organizations, how AI can be used for training, how AI can be used for entire testing and development life cycles. And also, AI are very, very useful when it comes to non-functional tests. And as I said earlier as well, AI can be used during the planning phase to go through the requirements and identify what needs to be done, what needs to be tested, and what not to be tested, right? Which could be a peer reviews. So the AI can greatly benefit at level 3 as well, which will be addressed by TMMI in the near future. And 4 and 5, as we talked about AI data can be used to measure the quality, to measure the informed decisions. So the AI plays a very, very big role at level 4, which is measured in terms of test measurement, in terms of the product quality evaluation, and also AI can accommodate advanced reviews to identify any anomalies in the documentations. And finally, as I said earlier too, we want AI that can be self-managed, that can run the scripts on its own and provide the decisions. That way, the test team or the organizations can make informed decisions. At level 5, AI can be used to optimize the test process in terms of not only finding defects, can be for defect prevention. They can be used for entire test process optimizations, at the same time keeping quality under control. Right. So TMMI is one of such model, and as I said earlier too, there are many such models that are coming up, but TMMI has been taking a leap step forward in terms of addressing AI, standardizing within the organizations. Okay. Having said that, I would like to thank you, everyone, for listening to this small lecture about AI and consideration of the risks and ethical behavior. And stay tuned. There might be a few other development that might be coming up within the AI, and try to implement AI in your own organizations and see what kind of results that you can get. Especially try them on a product that are non-risky, which doesn't have a more visual, so that you can learn from the behavior, and then we can slowly implement into other part of the applications. Right? All right, thank you very much, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the conference today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sammy. It was a very interesting talk. I really was very curious, and I learned a lot for my work too. That's always a good sign for me. So thank you that you shared your knowledge and your experience here. And I see we have also some questions here. So the first one is, very hard. Does AI replace software testers?
Yeah, that has been one of the biggest talk in the industry, right? Imagine when automation was introduced a few decades ago, right, about 10, 15 years ago. Every tester or every manual tester at that time were asking the same questions: will automation replace testers? What did automation do? It did not replace testers. It made testers even smarter, right? Automation tool help testers to become more effective, to become more efficient. Rather than going through same test over and over again, automation help testers to automate some of the repetitive tasks, so that the testers actually can focus on more important tasks, right? Such as making decisions, running high risk test scripts, rather than running every single test, right? Now, with the introduction of AI, same questions has been asked, right? Will the AI change the software testers? No. AI will not replace software testers. It instead will help software testers, very similar to what automation did, by handling any repetitive task. And more importantly, it will help analyze large amount of data that as a tester, as a human, we may not be able to analyze those data, right? So the short answer, just think about what automation did, right? It just made testers more better, more smarter, and the AI was going to be doing the same exact thing, except maybe 1,000 folds more, helping them analyze some of the data that cannot be handled by us, right? So AI will not replace software testers, but one thing I would say is, as a software testers, we have to adapt with the AI introduction, right? We have no choice. We have to go with the trend, and it is really not a big leap bringing AI into your own workplace, right? So we have to adjust to AI, just like AI is going to adjust to the data we provide. So there is no fear there. That we have to get used to it.
Yeah, thank you. I think the next question will also go in this direction too. What can testers focus on when AI handles routine tasks?
So as we know, the reason why we want to bring AI is to help testers relieve from some of the routine tasks, right? Automation, which is very good at running the same repetitive task, but AI we are going to use for something else. So once you bring in AI that can handle your decision making, that can handle analyzing, large amounts of information, and also if if AI can handle some of the repetitive tasks, as a tester, we can spend more time on very important work as a test team. What is that? Risk analysis, right? Identifying based on the data that has been provided, or the based on information that has been provided by the AI, how do we analyze this risk? How do we manage it? How do I add this risk into my planning, and also what type of test we need to select based on the information we have? And at the same time, it can relieve us from doing all those tasks where we can be using those time into critical thinking, how to manage our test better, right? So yeah, so it relieves, we can focus more on risk analysis. Planning and strategy will be very, very crucial, and also critical thinking. That is where we stand apart from the AI tools. Right?
I think this is so important, because sometimes when we now have more free time, we go in another Teams meeting or something like that, which is not very valuable. So we have to really use the time for
Exactly.
important things, like you said. Yeah. Exactly. Great, thank you. And I think there is one third question: how does AI help software testers?
Right. So as I said earlier, AI is not going to replace us. It will benefit us, right? Just like what automation did. Automation did not replace us. It made us better, right? So the AI can help tremendously, not only processing large amounts of data, not only, reviewing the requirements and identifying the most important test to run, right? AI can help us find any patterns, any weird behaviors in the test scripts, and also in the application itself, right? One example I gave earlier was the button, right? Let's say if the button position has been moved from point A to point B, it's like a very small change, or even the font size has changed, or even the font color has been changed. If you're using just an automation test, most likely the automation script would fail, because that script could not find a button at a specified locations, or at a predefined color or a font. But AI will become much smarter than automation, where it can find those patterns. Does a button exist? Where does it exist? Does it move? Right? It can analyze those type of decisions. Rather than failing the test, it can understand that there is some changes made to the script, and it will adapt to that new script, right? So it can help us finding patterns. It can also help us process huge amount of data, which is a time saver for testers, especially as a tester. We are normally working under pressure, trying to identify all the risk and try to mitigate most all the risk. I wouldn't say all the risk, but most of the risk needs to be mitigated. So AI will definitely help us identify those risks and to mitigate them very, very early in the cycle before it goes to the production. So it will save lots of time for the testers, and also it will save lots of efforts. Like you said, when it comes to the decision making, this will give, as a test team, this will give us a tremendous amount of time so that we can make a very informed decisions for releasing the product on time.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Sammy, also for answering these questions here. And if you like this speech, then you have the opportunity to scan this QR code here and vote for the best speaker and best presentation award for the A4Q Testing Summit 2026. And yeah, what I have to say, Sammy, thank you very much for your insights. It was very insightful for me too. And hope you can join the rest of the conference a little bit we have up front. And then maybe you want to watch also some recordings of the past sessions. And you people also go to the next session, enjoy the rest of the conference and enjoy the day. See you.
Thank you very much. See you again. Goodbye.
Bye.